Have you ever come out of a situation and left thinking, am I the a-hole here? Well, if you have, shame on you. Maybe you should be a better person. Have you ever thought about that? Today, we are going through the subreddit, Am I the a-hole? And we're going to be determining. We're going to be deciding whether people are the a-hole or not the a-hole. So let's get straight into it. Am I the a-hole for pushing back on a husband who tried to pass off a gift for himself as a Mother's Day gift for me? My husband loves big TVs. I don't really care. We have a 50-inch that is older, but it works well enough for me. We're sitting on the couch and my kid wants to blast something from his phone to the TV and it's not working. So I say, Meh, we probably need a new TV. And my husband says, we could get one this weekend. That could be your Mother's Day gift. So I push back. Don't disguise a gift for yourself as a Mother's Day gift. Dude, that's effed up. I understand it, but that's a little bit cheeky. And he just starts fighting back, saying he already got me something. This was an addition and that I'm acting like an a-hole. It escalated to him saying I'm a hysterical woman. Ugh. That's tough. And I put words in his mouth and that he won't let me walk all over him. He's a great man, but Lordy, he can never be wrong. A simple, yeah, you're right. We could get a TV, but it's not a Mother's Day gift, would have been the right move here. But he needed to win the argument and have the last word. My kid went upstairs rather than listen to this BS. I went up to, I don't need this crap. So who is the a-hole here? What it sounds like to me is they have a severe communication issue. This is a very small issue that's been blown up very big. It's like he has to win the argument. And calling her a hysterical woman is tough, man. Like that's definitely something said out of frustration. And the fact that she went upstairs afterwards, like they've clearly like emotions have gone so high that they've separated. Like yeah, it's just not a big deal though, really, is it? So I'm actually going to say they're both the a-hole in this situation to not be able to communicate with each other. Let's see what the comments say. You should get yourself diamond earrings as a Father's Day gift to him. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. This is just petty, you know? Like, I don't really agree with that. Like, she literally said he got her something else. So it's not like it was just the TV. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, he told her she's acting like an a-hole in front of their kids over something like that. I'm sorry, but I can't imagine, and other people aren't going to convince me that this dude is otherwise not a giant a-hole and that it's just this one tiny thing where he can never be wrong. Instead of seeing other people's responses, I'm pretty sure they're both giant a-holes. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The absolute trope of toxic marriage that consistently buys each other off with gifts. Damn, that's deep, man. But at least someone's agreeing with me that I think they're kind of both the a-hole in here. Yeah, look, poor kids. Like, such a tiny thing, and you're making a whole Reddit post about it, and you clearly got into a massive argument over one tiny thing that could easily be fixed with talking. Let's go on to the next one. Am I the a-hole for being mad at my boyfriend because he can't go to sleep without me? I've been dating my boyfriend for the past 6 months. It's been a thing between us to go to sleep while in call with each other. We call each other at night, talk for a bit and leave the call on until we wake up in the next morning. Man, to be young, eh? We've all been there. We've all been there. Ever since we started doing this, my boyfriend can't sleep without me. What? Even if I'm out late, he stays awake most of the time to take the call. And I do the same thing, but this is the thing. I fall asleep while waiting for him. He keeps calling me until I wake up. Man, this guy sounds needy as hell. I could never. One time, I accidentally fell asleep and he called me over 10 times to wake me up. But I don't do that when he falls asleep. I call him twice max. And if he doesn't answer, I sleep without bothering him. I talked to him about this and he said he can't fall asleep without me and that he will call me always. I feel so mad when he does it, but I feel like he won't listen. What should I do? Am I the a-hole? Like what? I actually need a minute to think about this because I don't want to be mean. First of all, definitely not the a-hole. 100%. Like this This guy needs. I feel like this episode is more about relationship advice, because this guy needs to sort himself out. Because if you can't fall asleep without calling your girlfriend, then you might need to go to therapy for something or other. I don't want to be mean. I'm just going to get straight into the comments, because I feel like we're all going to be on the same page with this. Not the a-hole, not the a-hole. Yep. For starters, put your phone on silent. And really, he needs to develop some coping methods, because relying on you is unfair to you. 100%. If you're in a relationship, you can't fully rely on the other person. If your partner was to, I don't know, say move across the other side of the world for a month, you need to be able to function completely fine for that month. Like, if you can't go to sleep without the other person, like, you really need to get over that. That's a real issue. Not the a-hole. It's one thing to enjoy someone else's present when you fall asleep, but it's another to bother them because you're clingy. I think that summarizes it perfectly. Like, this guy's way too clingy, and it's clearly affecting you now, and you're gonna end up resenting this guy for keep calling you. So you 100, at the very least, you need to bring it up and tell him. I think that's the easiest, not the a-hole we've had. Am I the a-hole for choosing my dog over my future wife? My fiance and I have been living together for 5 years now. I proposed to her 3 years ago. For the most part, living with her is easy. We get along just fine, and we enjoy each other's company. About 4 years ago, we adopted a beautiful chocolate brown husky mix. That sounds tasty.
What the dog doing?
And in the beginning, she absolutely loved her. Playing, training, walking, and taking her to the park. At the time, we had a large apartment, so space wasn't an issue. However, I lost my job after COVID, and we had to move into a much smaller one-bedroom apartment. While we managed to financially adjust by giving the dog more walks and park time, my fiance started to feel overwhelmed, especially by the dog's frequent whining for attention, which felt much more intense in the smaller space. She felt like she couldn't escape her whining. That's tough. I mean, that's got to be a little bit like having a baby, you know, when your dog's constantly whining all the time. I don't have a dog, so I don't exactly know how that is, but I can imagine. Over the course of about a year in the apartment, her feelings shifted from frustration to dislike, and eventually to outright hate. That's tough. That sounds like Anakin's downfall. She stopped helping with feeding, walking, or engaging with the dog entirely, saying she only puts up with it. Because she knows how much I love her, this caused a lot of arguments at first, but eventually I took on full responsibility for the dog. Since then, we've moved to a larger apartment in another state, after I secured a well-paying job. And there's now plenty of space for both the dog and my fiance to have separation. I hope this change would improve things, but her attitude towards the dog has stayed the same or even gotten worse. This seems like a very toxic environment for the dog. A recent situation that pushed me to make this post happened when I took a week-long vacation with my friends and left my fiance in charge of the dog. If this was me, I'd be a little bit anxious about that. Like, I wouldn't want to leave my dog with somebody who hates my dog. When I came back, it was obvious our dog had been kept in her crate almost constantly, except for eating and going to the bathroom, which made me furious because it felt like an outright animal abuse. Yeah, kind of. I mean, not kind of, yeah, it is. When I confronted her, she just repeated that she absolutely hates the dog and that she needs to be rehomed. I initially resisted the idea, but when she pointed out the dog would be happier with a yard, it genuinely got to me, and I agreed to start looking at a new home. I've since found someone willing to take her, but delays have pushed back the timeline. And every time I tell my fiance the dog will be with us another week, she has an extreme reaction and even threatens to take her to the pound, which leads to major fights because I'm trying to make sure my dog ends up in a safe, loving home. You sound like a very good dog owner, and your fiance does not. This takes us to today. She was supposed to start rehoming this week, but the person has been dealing with pretty bad medical issues for the last few days. I haven't told my fiance yet because I already know it's going to lead to a massive fight. I want to rehome her on my terms, but my fiance is fed up with it. already saying no matter what, she leaves this weekend. Speaking with my friends, they warn me about my fiance saying, if she's doing this to your dog, what if your future kids drive her this crazy with their crying and screaming? To me, if you're quite bad at looking after a dog, then some of those factors are going to correlate with an actual child. We have been having more frequent fights as of late, and just makes me think this time, if she doesn't understand, then I'm just going to have to choose my dog over her. Honestly, I read the title at the start and I thought that's a bit crazy, but I think it goes a lot deeper than that. It's more about how she's acting. If your dog is such an important part of your life, then, you know, maybe she's not the right person for you. Actually, it definitely sounds like she isn't the right person for you. I'd be losing friends, her family that I'm on great terms with, and any support in the state I'm in, as my family is in an entirely different state. I feel financially I'll be fine alone, but it's the mental cost of losing everything over my dog. However, I do feel that maybe I'm the a-hole for considering that. This is an interesting one. Like, I'm trying to think what I would do in this situation, because I don't have a dog, so I can't imagine what it'd be like. And I also don't have a fiance, so I can't imagine what it feels like to have to choose between one of them, especially in terms like this. But I definitely think you're not the a-hole, and it's definitely a real decision that you need to take. I'm kind of on the dog side in this situation, but yeah, I do understand that losing everything over your dog is pretty harsh, but maybe you need to lose everything so to find the right person. Let's see what the comments say. I'm saying not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. Keep the dog and rehome the fiance. That is a great comment. Okay, I'm gonna be real vulnerable here. I am a dog person and I hated my husband's dog, much for the same reasons your soon-to-be ex hates your dog. But I genuinely never showed it. I played with him, bought him toys. Hell, I even spent the last 6 years of his life making him homemade food that accommodated all of his allergies and bad teeth. I treated that dog, whom I couldn't stand, with love and respect. You know what? Big up to this person. I did it because the man I loved adored that dog, and because that's what you do for any living creature in your care. I went when we lost the guy a little year ago, even though I couldn't stand him. This is not about the dog, it's about any future creature you may want in your life being left in this person's care. Run. You know what? I think we're all kind of on the same page with that one as well. Not the a-hole, baby. Am I the a-hole for not defending my girlfriend when my friends kicked her out of our group project for not doing her part? We're a bunch of school students, everyone aged 16. Our grade recently got a group project. It's important for internals. Maximum 4-member groups are allowed. Teacher already mentioned in the start that if a particular member doesn't do his or her contribution, then the group can kick their lazy member out. Almost everyone made 4-people group. My group included me, my girlfriend, 2 of my best friends. They aren't friends with my girlfriend though. That's a little bit weird. You're dating somebody and your friends aren't friends with her. Like, you're in a group, but I don't know, I guess they are quite young though. We divided the tasks the next day. My girlfriend was given the job to print the images we'll need. Only she has the printer among us. She was meant to bear the ink expenses, but it was also the easiest job, and she agreed. That sounds like a pretty easy task. The ink expenses can't be that much. Well, I don't know how much they're printing out, but it's got to be like less than £1, right? Or less than $1. Everyone did their work on time, but she kept delaying her part. Upon her request, she was given 2 more days than the original deadline she was given. However, she didn't pick anyone's call nor reply to messages, even on the day she was meant to submit her work. Tired and frustrated, one of my friends got the images printed from outside. He later announced on the group that we boys will divide the printing expenses and she needs to be kicked out immediately. Divide the printing expenses. Maybe it is a lot more than I think. But yeah, that's tough. Kicking your own girlfriend out of the group is pretty crazy. My other friend instantly agreed. I was frustrated too and embarrassed as well because I'm the one who asked my friends to include it in the group. Everything was going smoothly, but she alone created chaos. So I didn't defend her stay, but also didn't explicitly say to kick her out. That's kind of tough. Like, on one hand, you should really be defending your girlfriend a little bit more, and then on the other hand, like, why aren't you getting this done, you know? Again, this is like another relationship problem where you need to just communicate, or maybe help her print out the images if it's that hard for her to do. I stayed kind of neutral and told them to do what they think is fair. I'll support the end decision no matter what it will be. She got kicked. Later, it led to a private fight between me and her. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame her. Like, I'd be a little bit offended if I got kicked out the group by my own boyfriend. Pause. Her complaint is that why didn't I support her? I told her that she's the reason for whatever happened. When she was given 2 more days, she didn't reply almost the whole day. She said that she had a headache, which I honestly think is an excuse. Yeah, it kind of sounds like an excuse. You know, even if you have a headache, you can print something out. It doesn't take that much effort. And a headache for 2 days, like, come on now. Like, am I going crazy? Printing out some images is not a big deal. She was procrastinating since days and could have at least told us if she really had a headache. Yeah. Am I the a-hole? She's still very upset, but I honestly think that what my friends did was justified. Yeah, it is justified. Now she has to make a separate project for her all by herself. Yeah, that's tough. If she can't print out some images, how's she gonna do the whole project? She asked me to help. I told her that I already worked for my project. Now I will not be able to help much for hers. I'll do the research stuff. That's around 25% of the work. She's mad. Am I the a-hole? You might not be an a-hole, but you're kind of stupid. Like, now you're having to do 25% of her whole project where you could have just printed out the pictures for her. Like, what? Earlier I said, oh, to be young. Now I'm not missing it at all, because if I was this stupid, then damn, I feel sorry for everyone who knew me back then. Like, you're not the a-hole, because at the end of the day, it's like, you're like, she didn't do anything, but you should be communicating with her, asking why she's not getting it done, and, you know, maybe helping her and seeing, like, you've got to upgrade your communication skills. I feel like every post that I've clicked on, you need to communicate better in your relationship. Like, this is literally turned into relationship advice, and I'm getting mad right now. Like, I need to calm down. Let's look at the comments. Not the a-hole. She should have done her part. You were right for not standing up for her. Bad behavior. God, this is making me laugh though. But yeah, not the a-hole, but kind of the a-hole for not communicating with her. Actually, yeah, a-hole. I don't care. You know, after all of this, I think this video turned me into an a-hole. I think I'm the one who needs to be a better person. So yeah, a lot of relationship advice today. I think the message I want to put out for this video is communicate better with people. If you're feeling something, let it be known to that person who's making you feel that way, because if you don't, how are you going to resolve it?